now I'm going to point out a few specifics about the program as I look at it here, and you can follow along as well. It starts, with the introduction, fat loss training program. The goal: eliminate fat, build lean muscle, transform the mind. As anyone knows who's familiar with the fitness journals, the whole thing that we focus on is the mindset, the mind. Building habitual exercising, that is the main thing we focus on. How is it that you achieve success within your fitness life, your health? That is what we focus on. It's not just the cliche, hey, get in this program, burn fat, get abs, things like that. That is not how you create lasting results, especially if you're not familiar with it already. Now, first thing first, start. If you haven't done lesson one of the course, make sure you go and check it out. It really doesn't make sense continuing throughout the actual physical part if you do not go through lesson one. Like it says, do not begin workout plan if you have not done the lesson above. So make sure you do that. Now, collecting baseline data. You want to know where you started so you know where you're going. When you look back, you're like, man, I came a long way. There's really no way to know how much progress you're making if you're not tracking it to some degree. You don't have to, let's be realistic, you don't have to write every little detail. I myself don't even do that. I write as much as I can. If I miss a day or two, it's not the end of the world. As far as writing down my progress, it's not the end of the world. It happens, that's life. But having an overall draft of where you are, where you began, and where you are, let's say at the end of the 10-week program, that's important for you to know. So, program start date, you want to know that. When did you start? Your ultimate goal. What is your ultimate goal? Live long, live healthy, live strong. At the end of the program, you can even say, I want to, be in a much better standing than I am now. I can't do 30 push-ups without getting gas. I can't, do burpees. I can't do jumping jacks. What are your goals? What are the ultimate goals you want to achieve throughout this program and for a lifetime? So you want to identify those goals. Medical history. Make sure if you have any medical history, once again, although there's a disclaimer, I want to let you know, do not attempt any exercise program, mine or anybody else, if you have not talked to your doctor and got medical clearance. It's important that you do that. The number one thing is health and your safety. You don't want to put anything at jeopardy by taking part in these programs that only further push you deeper into the hole that if you're in a situation already. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Diet is important. You could be as strong as can be. You could have a nice six-pack, but could be covered by that layer of fat that you have there, that subcutaneous fat. Check out that video, by the way. That subcutaneous fat. If you're not checking your diet, if you're not regulating what you're eating, if you're putting more potential energy in your body than what you're burning, you're not going to be making the progress that you want to see. Simple as that. Time and time again, people say, yeah, I work out, I run on the treadmill, I could burn 300 calories, but then you go home and put on 600. So at the end of the day, not only are you're working out in vain, you're just working, and still putting on weight. Let's work smart. Just because you're working, creating, sweating, effort, that doesn't mean you're making progress. So you want to be working in the right direction. You want to be making progress, not standing in one place. Life is short. Don't waste it doing things that you can fix. So, it talks about height, your weight, body fat, BMI, and within the tool list here, it shows the tools that you could use to check your BMI, your body fat, and things like that, so you could more accurately track your progress. Measurements as well. So I have that as well. If you want to measure, get dimensions where the size of your bicep was, your chest, your waist, things like that are important too. Helps you track your progress better. Taking photos. I did an interview with Joya L. If you check out that interview, she talks about why it was so important for her to take pictures. I think it was every 2 weeks, and that really drove her because she would see the actual visual progress that she was making, and that helped her out a lot. So now we have the tools list. Talk about the tools that you can use to more accurately help you throughout your journey, track the progress that you're making. So here I talk about the calorie counting. So there's apps, online application, phone applications that you can use to check, if you want to track your calories, proportion your macros, things like that. Those are for the people who are, are disciplined enough to do that. Otherwise, if you do not even have the discipline of eating healthy, you have a problem eating late at night and eating bad stuff late at night, sugary drinks, soda, juice, and all that, and your eating habits are poor, I wouldn't even worry about counting calories and doing proportioning macros right now. It is extremely effective. I've done it. I don't do it currently, but I have done it. Clients who want to get their, body fat or whatever down, weight more accurately, that is how you do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. So don't, take out what I'm saying out of context and saying, oh, this guy is crazy. He's saying proportioning macros and counting calories doesn't work. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you want to stick to it, make it easy for yourself down the road. Work on creating habits that are healthy. That's it. As you get, more experience, more disciplined, proportion your macros, and even if you are early on, if you feel like you have the discipline to do that, by all means, go right ahead and do it. Resources. So obviously, my website online, resources that we have there, articles, videos, interviews, all that stuff, they're all at your disposal. You can check it out, look at it there, and absorb as much information. Like I said, it's all in here. The mind, the thing that we focus on the most is the mindset. So all that is at your disposal. Please don't let it sit there. Information, and even if you're putting the information in your head, you have to execute. So yeah, having all the information in the world, I could give you all the books, all my recommended videos, articles, and all that. But if you're not applying it, doesn't make much sense. So the resources there. Now, the actual 10-week overview. So you have from week 1, Monday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, each and every day, the overview, what you're supposed to do. So we start with you have a little color coded legend here, and it shows full body split, active recovery, half body split, upper body, half body split, lower body. So for example, let's say after the full body split, you feel like, oh man, my upper body is sore. I don't feel like I could go and do upper body on that day. This is not written in stone. You do not have to follow it to the T. If you want to interchange the day, so let's say, man, I feel like I could do lower body on this day. My legs aren't as sore as, my upper body. I'm going to do this instead. That is perfectly fine. Don't say, oh, because my upper body's sore and it says I have to do it on this day, and if I don't do it, then this program's not going to work. No, it doesn't work like that. You could switch it around. Nothing's going to happen. You're working out still. You're making progress. Things are happening. You're moving. Active recovery. Let me just go back real quick. Active recovery. So that's like an optional rest day on the second day, on Tuesdays. So you could choose whether or not you say, hey, I feel like my body needs a rest. I'm going to stretch. And this is what I would recommend. And remember, always warm up before you stretch. You don't want to pull anything. So, you do your warm up, you do your stretch. Stretch about, 15, 20 minutes. You do that. Do a full body deep stretch. Make sure you get those muscles loosened up. Flexibility increases strength. And I'm learning that more and more every day. That's why I take my stretching so seriously now. I make sure I stretch. I make it my duty to do that. The more flexible you are, the more strength at your disposal. Usually tight muscles are weak muscles. So take that as an indication that you need to loosen up those muscles, get things going. Blood flow, flexibility, elasticity, all of that. So active recovery, you could either go in the gym, do a little something. If you do light cardio, a little bit of strength training, that's perfectly fine. But don't make the intensity as high as your regular training days. That's not the purpose of the active recovery day. Then again, if you feel like, man, I didn't really work out that hard yesterday, I could come in and put a little bit more intensity and then change my active recovery day active recovery or full rest day to another day. That's perfectly fine as well. So like I said, those half body splits, you can interchange them. When you're looking at the 10-week overview, they will make sense exactly what I'm talking about. Cardio again. So cardio Friday. Now I want to point this out. Let's say you're someone with a quick metabolism and your goal is to gain weight. Now, you might want to change your cardio day to a strength training day. That's totally up to you. You can do that. You can say, hey, I feel like I don't need that much cardio. And quite frankly, I don't do a ton of cardio either. My cardio, high intensity interval training, I could do that 2 times a week. I'm good to go. Sometimes once a week, depending on the intensity, good to go. I don't spend a ton of time doing cardio. Cardio is important for your heart. Your heart is a muscle. I mentioned this in a couple of videos, and you need to ensure that your heart is healthy. So do cardio, It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I don't do steady state cardio. That's my goal isn't to be a marathon runner or anything like that. Back in the day when I was in middle school, I used to run marathons and whatnot. Hence, I was very skinny at that time. But now, that's not my goal. I want to, be big, lean, strong. That's the goal. High intensity interval training gets me that. Now, if you're more of the overweight side, cardio is what you want to add in. You want to have at least 2 days of cardio. You could do the high intensity interval training style. If you don't feel like you're comfortable doing that, start with the steady state. Steady state build up. If you're gonna do high intensity interval, don't make the intervals of high intensity too long. Get it up there maybe 5-6 seconds, bring it down, have adequate rest. Set 20-30 seconds or more. That's the rest time you would want to look for, or until you feel like you can get back in and get back into action. So overload week. So the overload week, on the 4th week, what we would do is turn up that intensity. Your muscles only grow when they're forced to. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and expect your muscles to get stronger and bigger. You have to add more resistance, more volume. You have to force your muscles to grow if you want them to grow. No other way. You can't just do the same thing over 7 push-ups every day for 10 years. Yeah, you're gonna make some progress, but if you wanna make real progress, want your muscle, your body to grow, get stronger, you have to add more resistance, more volume. That's the only way. So here, what we're gonna be doing on week 4, the overload week, is increasing either volume. So if it's reps, if it's adding more resistance, so if we have resistance bands or adding additional weight to our own body weight, that is what you would do. Increasing. So if let's say you start with the pyramid style 1 to 10, you could now add, let's say, 1 to 12. So that's increasing. You're going to do that. That will be your new normal. You're at that overload. Once you reach that point, the new normal will be, that 1 to 12. And that's just an example. The ladder, if you're doing, 1 to 5, so 2, 4, 6, 8, whatever the style that you're using, you would increase, try and add something more to that. That is the purpose of overloading the body. So you're going to continue that until week 7. And week 7 is deload. So what I do for myself, usually like when you're first beginning, you don't have to, it's up to you if you want to take that deload week. Usually you could go a little bit longer before deloading. But for me, about 6-7 weeks I'll deload. So I'll take down the pressure like all the way. Sometimes I won't work out at all. I actually tried that. I made a ton of progress and it helped me out tremendously. So that is what you would do to look to perform on that deload week, taking down the intensity, giving your body adequate time to recover. And that's the thing. Your body actually recovers when at rest, not when you're working out. The stimulus that is created is during the workout. The recovery takes place when you're resting. Now, when we look at week 9 is another overload week. So we move on over to the overload week, and by doing that, you're now able to once again add more intensity, more volume, more resistance on that week. And so that's what you're going to do. You're going to perform week 9 at a higher intensity. That is going to be your new normal once again. Week 10, you go through the new normal, and then you're going to want to assess yourself again, see what kind of progress you have created for yourself. That is week 10. So that's basically the whole overview of week 1 to 10. You get the gist of that. When you go down to the bottom, starting with week 1, we have day by day, exercise by exercise, everything. Day 1, it shows you full body warm up. So you start with the warm-up once again, always beginning with the warm-up. That is essential. You don't start with the stretching. The stretching comes after that. It shows you the time interval for rest. That's, you use your discretion for that. You should look to perform your exercise at moderate intensity for the warm-up, simply because that's just getting the blood flowing, getting the blood to the muscles, raising the temperature of the body. And you're doing that in a ladder set form as well. So you guys know what the ladder sets are, how it goes. That's how you perform it. There's actually an exercise video. I'll post it somewhere here where you can click on and get first-hand example how that goes. So once again, it shows you week by week, day by day, exercise by exercise, exactly what you need to perform. these exercises, once again, are not set in stone. These are just general overviews, what you can look to, just to understand, okay, if it's full body, burpees are a exercise that I would recommend for full body. You could even go back and do your jumping jacks if you feel like, okay, I can't do that, or bring down the regression of the exercise to the simplest form. So even something like a little jump squat, once again, we have those exercises here, or just simple jumping off the balls of the feet. And that's how you would get that full body effect that the burpee is supposed to give you. So that's basically how it goes. Just scrolling down here. So it shows you week 1 to week 10. Exactly what you need to do. There will be video examples for many of these exercises that you're not familiar with, and if there isn't, either it's on YouTube, on the website, or you can send an email, send a message, and I will add it in there as soon as possible. So you guys have it, week 1 through 10, everything you need to know, every exercise. Get creative. If you feel like, man, I've been doing the same exercise, I want to add something different, by all means, take the initiative, search out, look for more exercises. If there's an exercise that you're familiar with and you want to add maybe a different variation of it, give it a try, get creative. That's the nice thing about, calisthenics, body weight, very creative. You find out different ways you can use your body to create a similar effect of a different exercise, and it could be even more effective. You enjoy it even more, and that's what this whole fitness game is about. So that's it. There will be a lot more videos within this course. You could look around somewhere here. I'll point you down in this direction, seeing how this video is most likely going to be at the top of the course. So scroll down, check it out, and I hope you guys get the results. No matter of fact, you will get the results you're looking for. All you have to do is do it. All right, guys, thanks for watching.